try to give respect, but who we looking for if there was no one left? Ain't nobody in front of me. 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 This my game won't stop. No, I can't fit in your box. Whoa, that's demolishing shots. Froze, set the scene, no plot. Hoes, whoa, please don't play me, cause when I let the beat sound, you think I'm crazy. But none of you critics gon' faze me. So when I talk like this, don't blame me. I know I'm bad with it. Go against a goat, that's bad business. All of y'all are jokes so sad with it. To me, you're just a ghost, don't get mad with me. Just, it's in my, gotta get already. Not selling my, you on the, y'all moving, ready to, whoa. I'm the main event, ain't no back before, let's get it. Heartless in the G, yeah. Better get lost, won't get with it. Ain't nobody in front of me. 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 You can try to prove me wrong and try to give respect, but who we looking for if there was no one left? Ain't nobody in front of me. 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 Everybody trippy, yeah, we coming, yes, they're back. Yeah, we walking with a body bag full of cash. Cut from a different rary, raise it like a flag. Unapologetic. We gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. It won't stop. Running it back, running it back. And that's we gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. Running it back, running it back, running it back. Hey, 10 toes, I'ma never miss. Boy, I'm locked in, never take a loss in the sport, boy, I'm top 10. Giving work all around the clock, I know they watching. Got it out of the mud, ain't had no options. Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and change my style up. Got that touch like Midas. Back then they wouldn't invite us. Switched up, now they wanna be like us. And now they dealing with identity crisis. I know, I ain't sorry, get a pity party. You could probably get it from your mama now. But if you pull up on me, you gon' see a body, cause I'm not the one you want a problem with. 10 toes down, if I stumble, watch me stand up. When it goes down, get the doo-doo, tell your man's dog. You can blame it on your homies, got you hyped up. Whoa. Everybody trippy, yeah, we coming, yes, they're back. Yeah, we walking with a body bag full of cash. Cut from a different rary, raise it like a flag. Unapologetic. We gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. It won't stop. Running it back, running it back. And that's we gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. Running it back, running it back, running it back. Hey, look, hand me the ball, I'm running it back. Answer the call, I'm all in my bag. They want me to ball, I charge them the max. And then they promote cause they paying me tax. I'm the solution and I'm the problem. If it ain't profit, it ain't an option. If you try to play me, I'm gon' get you packed up. If it's something nasty up, nothing's getting passed up. No, we bout to act up. This whole game is wrapped up. Talk will get you smacked up. Refresh, you should back up. Hanging up these plaques up, it's fast, bro. Know that I'm a menace, catch you lacking with your hands up. 10 toes down, if I stumble, watch me stand up. When it goes down, get the doo-doo, tell your man's dog. You can blame it on your homies, got you hyped up. Whoa. Everybody trippy, yeah, we coming, yes, they're back. Yeah, we walking with the.
What's up, world? If you're watching here on planet Earth or anywhere that you might be beaming in, thanks for finding us here on the OH.Report video podcast, season 3, episode 17 here tonight. Wherever you're watching from, I'm sure glad that you tuned in. Have you been getting by without us here on your Monday nights? I know there's been a little bit of a void. We've had lots of live and free tournament basketball keeping you company, but it's also fun to get all of your sports updates and a mixture of a variety of topics here on the podcast. So I'm certainly glad to be back with all of you great-looking people watching out there right here and now. My name is Brian Skoronsky. I am the host of the show. Travis Big League Berardi will be joining me at some time. You see there's a vacancy right there. It's an empty chair. He's traveling back from the Bird Cage over in Loudonville. He's been hanging out with Tyler Bates and the gang that just punched their ticket to the state Final Four. And what a week it was last week for the OH Report. We watched 5 boys teams move on to regionals. We're going to hear from a couple of them here tonight. And then we had one of our area girls teams who I just mentioned, the Lady Redbirds of Loudonville, going back to state for just the second time in their school history and doing something really cool with them. Travis is going to be behind the scenes with the Lady Birds all week up through their semifinal game on Thursday. If they get a win, and we're hoping so, Corey and the gang up there moving on to the state championship. We're staying at the same hotel as them. We're going to have lots of cool footage and behind-the-scenes look at just what it's like preparing for state competition and then ultimately competing on the big stage in Dayton. Do quickly want to shout out all the state placers from around the area who did big things in Columbus this past weekend in the state championship for wrestling. We had Zach Truax, Jeremy Peoples were down there for us, and they collected so much footage. I'm told they had to go buy extra memory cards when they were down at state competition. So we had 21 area wrestlers who finished, I think, in the top 7, and we've got video of all of them. We're going to be filming a special episode of The Takedown on Wednesday, and we hope to air it there on Wednesday night. Zach's going to break down everything that he saw. We've got tons of interviews. As I mentioned, we got highlights from every single match of those kids that made it into the top 7, so definitely looking forward to looking at that. And a big shout out to Cade Cunningham, our only state champion here from our own backyard. He over at Crestview, so congratulations to the big fella. Not easy to win at the heavyweight, but he was the best of the best this season. All right, coming up on tonight's show, we are going to hear from the Redbirds, who I talked about. Travis is up hanging out with them right now. He's going to bring back some interviews with the 3 stud seniors, maybe some of the underclassmen, certainly Tyler Bates. I think he's been mic'd up at practice all afternoon, so as soon as he gets back, we'll take a look at that. We also have Gregg Galloway and the MOAC and district champion Shelby Whippets. I'm not sure which players he's going to be bringing on with him here tonight, but we're going to speak to each of them here in probably about 15 minutes. But we're going to start the show tonight with a team that just finished doing something that no team ever at that program has ever done. It's regional week, and for the first time in history, Seneca East, they're still playing, baby. That's right. They had an extra practice, just got it in here tonight, and they're doing some more team festivities. So without further ado, let's bring in their third-year coach, Anthony Langhurst, Blake Foose, and Luke Hicks. What's up, fellas?
How's it going?
What's up?
Hey, having a good night here. I'm told you're fresh off a team meal, right? Who catered? What was on the menu? What'd you just stuff your faces with?
Go ahead, boys. We had some chicken chunks and cheesy potatoes.
That's
I partook in both.
Well, how was the buzz around town this past weekend after cutting down the nets for that district championship? Because if it's anything like our inbox on the social medias, Tiger Nation, they're going wild for the team right now, and they've really been enjoying the run.
Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, the community really showed out the past 2 games last week in Willard. It was awesome atmosphere in both, and just the buzz at school Friday afternoon was pretty special, and it was pretty cool to be a part of.
Well, Coach, hopefully you took advantage and hit the town this weekend. There's no way that you would have paid for a drink or a meal if you left the house.
Yeah, I had a few friends that showed up at Willard, so yeah, I took advantage of that, full advantage. But we had an AAU tournament that we were hosting, so I had to get back home a little bit early. But I did a little bit of celebrating.
As you should. All right, let's talk about your 3rd season now with the program and progressively, just winning more games each year. Talk about your building blocks, the foundation, and some of your key things that you feel like has led to some of the success that you've enjoyed the last couple of years in Attica.
Yeah, I mean, it's really no surprise that it's just this senior group. I've had, Blake and Aiden have been starting for me for it's their 3rd year now, and Hicksy's been on varsity for 3 years. So, those guys stepping up and being leaders. And then obviously you got some of the other seniors who kind of, came up in their own time, whether or not they were just, doing some JV things and then came into their own this year. But yeah, start with that group up top, and they've kind of embraced everything that I've been doing, and they kind of make my job a lot easier. I'm not doing anything special as far as drills and stuff, but they're kind of setting the tone in practice, and it kind of trickles all the way down.
Blake and Luke talk about, as two of the leaders of a very unselfish team, it's very evident you guys leave your ego at the door. Nobody's fighting over who gets the ball, who's taking the shots. Just describe that process of buying in, becoming a real team, and seeing it all, pay off since you're moving on to regionals now.
Yeah, I think that's what's special about our team. Our group of seniors that we have 6 seniors, and we've never always been the best or the most talented, the most flashy team, but we've always just kind of played well together, and we've never really had a single star player either. It's always just been a group effort, whoever is the leading scorer that night, and then another night it might be a completely different person, and we all just try to grind and do the dirty work, and we're not afraid to do what it takes to get the W.
Luke, what do you feel like your role is on the team in terms of that leadership? What do you feel like you bring to the table? Are you a vocal guy? Are you behind the scenes trying to lift spirits? Or are you just kind of, do the dirty work and hope that everybody else follows in your footsteps?
I'd say I'm usually the guy to stay pretty positive with the team, make sure everybody keeps their heads up. And I would say maybe a little dirty work, but not too much.
Yeah, you saw him get fired up though last time we played Colonel Crawford when he's hitting those big buckets. So he's got that fire in him when he needs to.
Think back to the preseason goal-setting talks. Tell me about kind of the expectations compared to reality for you guys that you've ended up creating for yourselves. Was this a Tigers team coming into the season that felt like you had what it took to be N10 champions and district champions?
Well, it wasn't really something that we talked about. We kind of just wanted to focus on basketball. It was, we had a whole new, offensive philosophy that we wanted to do, and obviously a whole new defensive philosophy. And the biggest thing that we talked about basically from practice to practice, game to game was just, it's going to be a journey. Like, things are going to change. And then, as we kind of had a little bit of success, things kind of came to the forefront like, hey, man, we got a chance to do this thing. So, as the season was going on, we kind of, changed our goals a little bit that way. But, yeah, it was just a work in progress through the whole way. And then, like you said, once it kind of got a little bit clearer that there was an opportunity, then we kind of, focused on that.
You guys have definitely capitalized down the stretch. You got all the big wins that you needed to get that four-way piece. Well, what a crazy way to end the season in the Northern 10 with 4 different teams getting the championship and then getting the districts and cutting down the nets. So let's get there now. So you beat Colonel Crawford 3rd time on the season, and you got all your friends and family in the building, and we were on the same side as them, basically mixed in with the Tiger fans up top there at Willard. Just put into words and paint the picture for me what it was like receiving your medals and then everybody crowding around, cutting down the net, because talking to my color guy, Joe Baylog, and others that have done it, there's just winning a district championship. He said really no better feeling because it's still local. There's a lot of that type of flavor, and then you got all your fans there in the house. What was it like for you guys?
It was pretty awesome. The atmosphere in the gym, like I said earlier, was awesome. The student section showed out. And myself, I've been around the program for a while. I think I started being a ball boy in 4th grade, and I watched some talented teams that never even got a sectional championship. And then, obviously I've been playing in the program for 6 years now, and I've seen some talented teams. Like my freshman year, we had a talented team. We never even got a sectional championship. And then obviously sophomore year was rough. And then now in the past 2 years to just build off that and bounce back and become district champions, it's pretty special.
What was the coolest part for you, Luke?
Yeah, just building up from sophomore year, winning 8 games and then just building off of it. And then just building up all the way to a district championship is awesome.
Colonel Crawford, obviously, they've been the dominant small school in the area. They've been to District 13 straight years. So to not just get them in the championship, the fact that you guys got them twice during the regular season, you knock them off 3 times, had to be very special. What about your guys' matchups do you think allowed you to be successful against a team that basically has been beating everybody in the league and then in the districts over the last several seasons?
Yeah, they're a tough matchup just because of the way they play. They make you work on both ends. You can't get any easy baskets on them, and they're definitely going to defend. That's been their calling card for a long time. We really didn't talk about those first 2 wins because I really didn't have a whole lot of weight going into that last game. We just knew it was a different animal, different circumstances. You know, you can take whatever tendencies and stuff from those last 2 games, but you know, it was just a 1-game tournament. You know, so we just had to put those 2 games aside. They were nice, good regular season wins, but you know, it was just a different focus out of everybody going into that last game. I just feel like you know, they were big inside, and we had some bigs and some athletes that could kind of give them trouble. I think that's why we had a little bit more success maybe than other schools in the league. But that would just be my kind of X's and O's explanation why we had a little bit of success against them.
And Anthony, you said you had a pretty busy weekend after winning the district title, but how long did you allow yourself to really enjoy the win before moving on and game planning for the next round?
Well, I didn't sleep very much after the game, so I kind of did all my celebrating afterwards. But yeah, just kind of it was a testament to the team and these upperclassmen. Like, we had an AAU tournament that's a big fundraiser for us, and these guys didn't need to even show up because, you know, it's usually we leave it up to the younger guys to show up and do shifts. But every single one of the seniors showed up, so it's kind of just special that they're still buying in, and they're just great leaders. And you know, we let the guys enjoy it this weekend. We got in the gym a little bit, did some light shooting, and then obviously kind of focused on what we needed to today, and we'll just go at it from there.
Well, fellas, next up, you get the 2-time defending state champions who return all 5 starters. So as much as that might frighten you to hear, how exciting is it to know that you get your shot and you got a chance to be the team that, you know, kind of resets history here and become that ultimate underdog, even though you're a big cat, and knocks off Richmond Heights? What is cool about this matchup in your guys' perspective?
Go ahead, man.
You know, it's just, I mean, obviously no one expects us to win. So just to play with nothing to lose is just cool because, I mean, I think there hasn't been very many games where we feel like we've had nothing to lose this year. Every league game we played in, the league was so tight, obviously. Every league game was important and it felt like you had to win it. So I feel like tomorrow night we're going to be playing with a lot of energy, a lot of toughness because we got nothing to lose, and you know, who cares? Whatever happens, happens. We just go out there and play our game.
Coach, strategy-wise, give me one characteristic of your team that you think you can take advantage of tomorrow.
Well, I think you know, if we knock down shots, we're dangerous, and we got guys that can knock them down from every position. So if we can kind of find some space and you know, exploit some area where they're maybe being over aggressive against us, and we got some guys that knock down some shots, maybe we'll get in a groove a little bit. But yeah, we're just going to try to slow them down as much as we can. I mean, they're pretty balanced. So we're going to tweak our zone a little bit to see if we can kind of make life a little bit difficult for them, and then, you know, just kind of find a way offensively. They're going to be you know, a different animal as far as what we've seen athletically, but if we can knock down some shots, I think we, you know, got a chance to be a little bit competitive.
And I would be messing up if I didn't ask about the defense that gave everybody problems there in the district tournament and then in sectionals, because me and Joe Baylog really tried to dissect it, Anthony, and I don't really understand what you guys are doing. We called it the amoeba defense. We didn't really necessarily have like a 1-2-2 or a 1-3-1. We don't know what you're doing, so you probably don't want to give me too many details before you head into the biggest game of your life, but can you give me maybe 1 or 2 principles? What are you guys really doing there that's been giving so many people a lot of headaches?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a 1-3-1, and we start with some base principles, but it was a work in progress. Early in the season, you know, we were just starting to play it, and Carrie was taking advantage of our corners. So we're looking at the film, we're like, how can we shift this down and cover these corners? So then, you know, we kind of thought we did a good job there, plugging some holes, and then Mohawk comes in and starts kind of exploiting the outside of the three-point line. So it's like, hey, we look at it, hey, what can we do to kind of plug those holes? And then, you know, you got a team like Crawford that's more interior dominant, you know, and then so we got to flip Luke and Blake around. So it's just one of those things where it was a work in progress. We had a couple base principles for our wings and our Tom position, which is the guy up top. But it was mostly, you know, player-wise, it fit our mold, you know. You know, we didn't want Luke getting posted up, Luke Mason getting posted up, so we kept him up top. And, you know, we got good athleticism on the wings, so that was a kind of an easy fit. And then, you know, Blake is just as good as anybody going sideline to sideline, and then we got a couple good bigs. So it just kind of seemed like it worked itself out, and then we just kind of tweaked it and worked with it depending on the matchup, you know, every night.
Hey, but whatever you guys are doing is working. Keep it rolling. Keep doing it, and hopefully it leads you into the regional championship game this week. To get there, any superstitious members of the team, anybody sporting like some lucky socks or got like a lucky charm or anything, any pregame rituals that have been paying off for you guys the last couple months or something?
I think what you guys probably listen to the same songs every once in a while to get jacked up. I mean, it's kind of cool for me because I hear them here playing a couple songs I used to get jacked up to. So, normally I don't like to listen to a lot of stuff they'd be listening to, but there's a couple jams I like to get in for. But I think they probably do that. I don't know if you guys got anything else you like to do. But
I mean, not really. I don't think we have any guys that are superstitious. I mean, same undershirt every game, but that's not really superstitious. I don't think that's just a habit.
Give me one or two jams that can help me be successful. What do I got to listen to before I go into a big broadcast to really get pumped up?
We always do Chill Bill, Bad Boys for Life, and I mean, there's a few others in there, but those are the main two that really get us going.
There's a few that you don't want to probably play around any kids or anybody.
We'll leave those out.
We'll leave those out for the rest of everybody else.
Hey, if it's working, it's working. Even if you got to put that NC-17 or rated R label on it, keep it going, boys. Why not? You're going into a big one tomorrow. We're very excited to be there over at Canton Fieldhouse. One of my favorite venues, I think, in the entire state for a game. There's so much history and tradition. So I'm glad that you guys are going to get an opportunity to play there. And, we'll have you guys on live. Looking forward to seeing the contest. And best of luck with whatever you got to do to get ready for tomorrow. Make it happen.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us, Brian.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that's Coach Langhurst, Luke, and Blake. Man, what an opportunity they have now. They thought going into the districts that they've been playing some really good basketball. They would have an opportunity to get another shot potentially at Colonel Crawford, the #1 seed. They did that. They slayed that dragon or that eagle, if you will. But now they get the ultimate test, the #3 team in Division 4, but the two-time defending champion that I saw last year at regionals, and their starting five, they're just so tall, everyone can go get their own shot, and they're all back. So it's going to be an exceptional challenge for the Tigers, but as Coach Baylog and I talked about, I mean, if you can really confuse them with what the look is defensively, and it definitely appears like that's been the case for them over these last several weeks. They've got the key principles in that 1-3-1, but it's really tough to get a read on what they're doing up top and who's going where. So I look forward to seeing what type of problems the Tigers present tomorrow for the Spartans. And we will have, per OHSA rules, we can't have the video live stream, but we'll have an audio cast live. And then as soon as the game is over,
with me.
Hey, this guy right here, Big League, is going to be on the call, and then Joe Baylog and I will be on the call for the full video broadcast. That'll probably come out right at about 8 p.m. So you can check that out live and free on the OH.Report, the future of local sports. We always got your back. All right, well, let's move from one district champion to another. And the last time this team won a district, it's not like Seneca East. They got a little bit of tradition in their program. One of the oldest, actually, boys basketball teams in the history of the state. These guys were freshmen, so they got a peek at it to see what it was like to be successful and move on into the round of regionals. But now I think this group, they've kind of galvanized each other, and they've been building towards this moment. So I have got, fresh off of Friday night practice, Gregg Galloway and members of the Shelby Whippets boys basketball team joining me now. Hey, we got 4 players too. What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, doing good. Just hanging out here down at the studio, talking to Seneca East, a team that never, ever won a district. And for you guys, the fact that you got to be a part of it as young freshmen, was there anything that you took away from that journey a few years back that you remembered that you're kind of going to be putting to use this week? Maybe not.
All right. I think at this time of the year, it's really easy to get unmotivated during practice, and the good teams that go far practice hard every day, or they say they do. So just staying motivated in practice every day, and just taking game-like shots and being as prepared as you can this time of year.
Well, that's awesome now that you guys got to get locked in. It's Monday. You're back to practice. You're working. But take me back to the celebration this weekend and what the reception was like in Shelby after bringing home another gold trophy for that case. I got to imagine you guys enjoyed this one a little bit, taking down Lexington.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we celebrated Saturday and Sunday, but, today we came with a focus-like mindset, and we can't celebrate too much, and we just take it one game at a time, really.
Very veteran team, of course. I'm looking at 4 seniors, and then Coach Galloway, who's been around some big-time wins on the high school level. Was there any team, though, or any player on the team, I should say, rather, that really enjoyed being a champion more than others? Who really got a kick out of bringing home that medal around their neck and then the big trophy?
Everyone's
looking at each other.
Our manager, Cole, I see he posted on his Snapchat story, so he had a medal. He put that on there, so I think he was pretty excited to have that and be a part of that with us.
I think everybody was pretty excited that got tickets to get into Ontario this past weekend. It was a really awesome environment. I was glad that I got to be courtside and be there with you guys for those couple of big wins that you had. So I'm curious from your perspective as a player, was that the best environment that you've played in during your high school careers? And if not, where do you think has been like the most challenging gym or atmosphere that you've had an opportunity to be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere was awesome. Both crowds were really into the game, and it was really loud too. But that just makes the game even better and more exciting. A lot more energy, and there was I feel like there was a similar atmosphere our Willard game. That one was pretty sold out. Sold out.
Pretty sold out. Yeah, I think there was maybe a couple empty chairs, maybe not. But I heard that once the tickets went on sale for you guys versus Lexington, Jeff Fisher told me that AD at Ontario, 2 hours, they were all sold out. So the fact that it's a high school basketball game, I guess how special is it that you guys have brought that kind of excitement back to the area, that game was that big on Saturday night?
I think it's super special, especially since we all went to games when we were younger, and obviously we saw some great environments, some great games, but I think just playing it now and then being even more hype, in my opinion, just means everything. And then just like being a part of that and like being the reason that these games are so packed and so sold out is really special.
All right, let's relive Thursday's game real quick here, Coach. I'm curious about the comeback against Mansfield Senior. You guys hadn't led all night. You're down 8 late in the third. Bruscotter's in foul trouble. What about the squad do you think allowed them not to panic? Because there was a few moments that I'm watching there from courtside where I was like, it just feels like Shelby doesn't have their best stuff tonight, and this might just be a night for the TY Tigers. But then it didn't turn out that way. You made a big run. You ended up taking command there in the fourth quarter. Give me some insight from your vantage point there on the bench and with your guys of why there was just never any cause for panic and that you were able to get it done.
Yeah, we got off to a little bit of a slow start against Mansfield, but our guys just stayed the course. We've been in moments like that throughout the season. Where we haven't started off the best and teams have gone on the runs. And when you look at a team like Mansfield Senior, they're a really good basketball team. So we knew they were going to go on runs. It wasn't, any of a surprise. Obviously, we wanted to start better. But, I lean on our seniors. They've been in those moments before. I think of a game at Pleasant. I think you guys covered it. We're down 17 and a half. And, we just found a way to keep battling back, possession. Really relying on our defense, and we put a lot of that pressure on our guys, and they find a way to answer. And that's just a big testament to them, and not panicking and staying true to what we're trying to do.
Well, unless you're a Willard fan or a TY Tiger fan, I think collectively just sports fans in the area kind of wanted to see Shelby versus Lexington in that district championship game. Is that fair? Did you guys want another shot at the Minutemen, the last team that actually beat you, but before the calendar flipped to 2024 because you guys have been on this crazy run right now. Or I guess Willard's a pretty big rival too, but did you want to get like some redemption against Lexington, I guess is my question.
I know I was saying last question. I'll answer it again. Yeah, we 100% won. At least I did, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the team did, because we came home after the first half of our game, and we all stayed in the locker room, and we were watching the rest of the game, see who we were gonna play. And then when Fogel hit that last shot, like, we were low key all cheering because we wanted to play them again, and we knew we didn't play our best the first time. And that would probably be a better matchup and a bigger matchup. So, yeah, we all wanted Lex.
Well, in that Lexington game, there was a lot of hype, obviously, around it. There was people lined up around the block. I went to the gym to set up at 2:30. There's already people waiting outside the door, which I thought was amazing for a high school game. So, Coach Galloway, so that, obviously, a lot of people are interested in the game. 15,000 people watched it on our live streams. To get off to the start that you guys did, that had to have been like really nice for just kind of settle the nerves and for your confidence level, because you guys jumped out, I think, to a double-digit lead there pretty early. Like how nice was that to ease into the game that way?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was one of our keys. We wanted to come off to a fast start, especially with how we played Thursday. So just to come out and make some shots early, that usually, when we make shots, it usually goes into our defense too. We usually seem to get stops, and they usually work hand in hand really well. So, to get the start we did against Lex was what we wanted, and but we knew they were going to go in there, so we knew we had to answer. And I thought our guys did a good job ending the second or the first half on a positive note, and then we were able to keep that together throughout the second half.
You guys all had big-time highlights, it felt like, in that game. Ramsey had a rim rocker. I know, obviously, a big dunk for Lance. I almost had a second one that was crazy. Baker, you had some big shots. I think Bruscar, you might have had a dunk, too, in that game. So to do it on that stage, like, to have those big-time memories, just doing it in front of 2,500 people, how much different does it feel when you do, like, throw down a crazy dunk? Yeah, raising the roof. There it was. That was the Bruscotter dunk. Oh, there's the Ramsey dunk. That one was special.
It's pretty sweet. Usually in game, when you make a big play like that, you try to down out the crowd. But with that many people there, is almost impossible. But in a game like that, you just take opportunities like that are given to you. We all, as a collective group, did a great job of that.
So cutting down the nets, you got all your friends and family there. It's a district championship game. It was a big one. Did it feel like a huge moment for you, or was this more, hey, stepping stone, we've won all these games in a row, and we feel like we're destined for more?
I think all of us expected to win, and yeah, it kind of was just a stepping stone. I know it was probably bigger for other people since we lost to them earlier in the season, but to us, we have been taking steps all year in the right direction, so this was just another step for us, and we just have to keep taking these steps now.
Well, you guys, moving on to regionals, you got to go to Bowling Green State University, one of my favorite, but probably actually my favorite venue for high school big-time games, just because I feel like the venue's just big enough to feel huge, but it's just small enough to be quaint enough that the people can pack it in. You're going to get Lima Shawnee, and much like Lexington, I did my scouting report today, they got some young guys kind of like leading the ship here. So do you feel like you have an advantage, the fact that you four seniors have played a bunch of basketball and you are the ones that are leading the team and not a freshman and a sophomore?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got leadership all around that really helps to stay connected and play together. I'm sure Shawnee is a really well-coached team, but I feel like just the well-roundedness that we really help during big games.
Experience matters, guys. Yeah, I think that's the storyline here. But Travis is actually on set now. Yeah, he's got a question for you.
Hey guys, it's your old pal K-Mac Trav. How you doing out there tonight? More about Shawnee. Sophomore Berkey, 21 points, 8 rebounds, big inside presence. They have a 9-point player, 8.7. They don't have the balance you guys have, but they do have balance defensively. Is it just we're going to go one-on-one? Match up, man-to-man, play you straight up? Or, are there things that are different once you get to the regional level, not only with the matchup, but, it's at Bowling Green, things like that? Do you take it as another game, or do you have to hype yourself up?
Well, if you have to hype yourself up for a regional game, then you probably shouldn't be playing. So
Perfect answer.
I don't think we need any extra motivation, and I watched a couple of games today on them. They're really good. I already know a couple of their players because from the same AAU program as me and Casey, so I know they're really good. They can score the ball. They can play deep. They're in regionals for, so it's going to be. I think we're going to carry a great crowd. They carry a lot of people. It'll be hyped up, and this is what basketball is about for high school kids from like these. So hopefully we don't need to get hyped up at all.
We're getting some comments in here. Casey, who was first in line at the district championship game Saturday, waiting to get in?
that was my uncle. He's a big supporter.
That's awesome. So we do have one area team that's going to be downstate, the Loudonville Lady Redbirds. You guys 2 wins away from getting there. I know you're going to take it one game at a time, as you should, but you have, at least what we believe, you have the team that can make it to Dayton. What's it going to take to get this win coming up here on Thursday night, and then possibly a win Saturday to get yourselves down into a situation where you're a Final Four?
I think just taking time, because obviously we have to win the Thursday to make it there, so not looking too far ahead. Then just kind of blocking out the outside. There's a lot of stuff going on, so just staying true to ourselves and taking it day by day.
What about for you, Coach Galloway? What's the focus here the next couple of days so that you're peaking when you head into Thursday night?
Yeah, we're going to get more in depth with Shawnee as the week continues, and we what Bryson said. We want to take it day by day. I know we played Thursday, but we had a good practice today. To handle some things tomorrow for Tuesday practice. A big thing for healthy, and we want to head over to BG on the right note.
Real quick, fellas, I'm curious, out of you 3 giants in the middle, you guys have all had some amazing in-game dunks this season. If we just throw it up there on the open court, who's got the best flavor? If we put you 3 in a dunk contest together, who do you think is coming out on top?
Definitely Casey. I won't lie. Definitely Casey.
Is that true, Alex? He can outduel you?
Yeah, I might be taller. I don't have any balance. I have a little bit. I wouldn't say not, but I'm gonna get there.
Bryson, I didn't mean to eliminate you from the competition. Can you throw it down too?
I cannot. No, I'd have to go with Casey on that one.
Coach Galloway, have you ever been able to dunk in your career?
No.
I at least appreciate the pause. That's what I would do too. Like, nah. All right, fellas. Thanks for joining us. We always love talking to you guys out there. Looking forward to seeing you Thursday on the biggest stage. Well, obviously there's one more round to go, but I just love BG.
I'll be watching them from the biggest stage. I'm going to be down Dayton all week, but I will be locked in my hotel room watching that game because I'm pumped. I really do believe this team has what it takes to get to Dayton. As media members, we're allowed to look ahead.
That's right.
But this is a squad that they focus on the game ahead of them. They take care of business. They move on. It's a business trip to BG, right, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
You guys going to wear, ties and nice shirts to the game like your business people, or what's the attire?
No, we want to dress up more a bit. That wouldn't happen. Probably just
Sweatpants,
yeah.
chilling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Bryson Baker, Isaiah Ramsey, Alex Bruscotter, Casey Lance, and Coach Galloway. Thank you guys for the time. Good luck these next couple of days getting into the perfect form for Thursday night, and we'll see you there.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the Shelby Whippets, man.
Hi,
Travis, hey, good to have you back on set with us here. But I've been saying for the whole year, actually. I think from the beginning that this is the best team that we have in the area. I don't think it's close if you tipped it off against any of the teams that we have, and they proved it. They kind of got their reparations. They slayed Lexington in that second matchup, which was big time, biggest stage at the O-Arena. Really cool to be a part of. But I think they've separated themselves and showcased that they are definitely not just regional worthy, but this is a team that I would honestly be surprised if they don't take care of business and get a regional championship shot on Saturday.
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to be favored against Shawnee. It's just, I looked, they both played OG. Shawnee at home lost by 14. Shelby honestly should have won, only lost by 4 at OG. That's the one you can look at, but they're going to be favored. But then you get number 1 versus number 2 in the state.
Wow, what a matchup.
Booster and West and Shelby, and I still think Shelby has the squad because they have not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 solid scores, and then a 5th that can contribute whenever.
Yep.
And then you got bench players that come off and have played just out of their minds during the tournament as well, making big shots. So this is a team that's ready to go. They've peaked at the right time. They lost at Lexington, and that was like a chip on their shoulder. And since then, they have just steamrolled opponents. We watched that amazing game, Willard-Lexington. I flew back from Perry to watch the fourth quarter and overtime in person because that was such an amazing game. Shelby goes up to Willard last game of the regular season and just runs them off the court despite Max Dawson putting up 32 points. They get into the tournament despite sickness, come back with the toughness to beat out Mansfield Senior, and then a chance for revenge, and they take care of business. This is a team that has focused on the task at hand, and I think they're the only team that gets in their way.
That sounded like very big time of you, the way that you said, I flew back from Perry to watch the game.
Maslin Perry.
Yeah,
Maslin Perry.
Anybody that was watching live
the OH
Report,
Report, we've made so much money here at the OH Report. I had the business
just
jet,
jumped
you know,
on the old PJ and gassed it up and made it happen. You're absolutely right. All those things that you mentioned, they do bring off 2 quality players off the bench. I love Holman for sure. Like what he's able to bring in the middle is just a little bit different style of play from the other bigs that he swaps out with. So
they have size, they
it's a
have
good team.
speed, they have shooting. You can't just guard one guy. You have to guard all 5, and that's a big thing, especially later in the tournament in Division II. If you have 7 good players, a couple guys off the bench, you have 5 scores where you can't double somebody, because if you do, you're going to get hurt.
Yep.
That's how you make runs in the Division II tournament.
And for all of you that have been chiming in on our Facebook and to our private messages and even my emails and then all those social media channels, yes, we are going to be up at Bowling Green for the Shelby coverage. Per OHSAA rules, we cannot have a live stream in terms of video, but we're going to have a live audio cast. Travis is going to be on that one. And then once the game is over, we will put out our normal broadcast, and we're going to stream it. That way you guys can get on there. You can chime in and give us the comments, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be the same thing. It'll just be right after the game, and so it'll probably be right around 10 o'clock, and hopefully it's a big win for those Shelby boys, and they can watch it back, enjoy it on their bus ride home, and get ready for an epic 1-2 battle between the top 2 teams in the state for the regional title.
But Shelby game, I'll be in Dayton. The Tigers game.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Tomorrow night
Got
for
that one
Seneca
wrong.
East. That's a cool thing. You'll listen to the game and then watch it back because you're going to have 2 different sets of commentators. I'm going to be on the audio call for both games, but then you and the great Joe Baylog will be on the video call too. So you're going to get 2 different aspects of the game at once. So it's worth watching twice, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Adam has to put up with both. And the thing is, Adam's going to be recording both things at once. So he's going to have to listen to like me in one ear and you guys in the other. He's going to love it tomorrow.
I know that you're loving life right now. You're doing something really cool, getting a little behind-the-scenes stuff. It started today.
Yep.
The journey to Dayton with the Loudonville Lady Redbirds. So give us a couple of ideas of what we can expect, and then go ahead and set up this next segment for us.
So Coach Tyler Bates, he was very impressed with what we did a couple years ago. It was a little bit of what I wanted to do, was following Buckeye Central when they went to States. Got into the same hotel, got a room there with them, followed them around, was able to ride the bus, go to their warm-ups, their practices, their team meals, things like that. Well, I was talking to Coach Bates after the game on Saturday. I said, hey, you're getting the whole OH.Report state, tournament hoopla, everything,
we'll take
the
it.
whole shebang. And he said, let's do it. And we were able to also land a very good sponsor for this upcoming video.
Shout out Truex Printing.
Yes, Truex Printing. I know that guy. I think everybody knows that guy.
Yep.
But so what we're going to do, they're leaving on Wednesday morning. They're going to have a goodbye, a big grand goodbye from the school at 10:30 on Wednesday. You're going to hit the bus, head down to Dayton. I'm going to follow them right down. Going to hang out, going to go eat, and then Thursday is the game. I'll be doing the audio cast, but in between everything, you're going to see some behind-the-scenes looks, what they're doing at the hotel, how they, what they do when they're out to eat as a team, behind the scenes in the locker room.
I love seeing
everything.
pregame meals. Cause some people, the body is a temple, and they really take that seriously.
Well, they play at 11 o'clock in the morning, so this might be just a couple apples or something before.
Isn't it 10:30?
It's 11.
11.
I saw 10:45 is the state championship game because I was asking the same thing. They said it was 11 o'clock. Nonetheless, it's really early. It's the first. It's actually it's kicking off the state tournament. It's the first game of the state tournament Thursday morning, but it's going to be fun to see that. I did a little bit of it what I wanted to do 2 years ago, but this year it's a little bit more in depth. We mic'd up Coach at practice today, went over some things for their game on Thursday, but it's not going to be released till after the tournament, so I'm able to do this.
Stay tuned.
But we're going to have practices mic'd up, interviews with players at the place, what they like to do behind the scenes, things like that. Locker room speeches, hopefully a victory locker room speech after Thursday as well.
That'd be big.
Some of the highlights from the audio-only broadcast will be on there as well. And then, if they make it to Friday, practice on Friday what they do, and then Saturday for the state championship. So it's a huge week for us here, because I think this is going to be something that we can, maybe do for other teams down the line too if they're impressed by it. And it's my little baby.
Go to Dayton.
That's
it.
Go to Dayton. Just
That's
go
all
to
we
Dayton.
ask.
We'll give you the whole shebang. But also today, after practice, it was kind of their media day. There was other media members there, so I had a chance to talk to Coach Bates, to Jenna Williams, to Sophia Spangler, to Corey Vermilia, and to Alicia Felix about has it sunk in yet? Some expectations, things like that. So this is my interview with the Loudonville Lady Redbirds on State Final Four Media Day. All right. Coach Bates, Saturday. Seems like, just 5 minutes ago that this happened, but you win your first regional championship as head coach. Has it sunk in? I know you guys went and celebrated at Chili's until about 1 a.m., but just has it finally sunk in that you're playing in a state Final Four?
Yeah, it has definitely sunk in. When I woke up Sunday after about 3 hours of sleep and had to do the meetings for the state tournament, coaches and athletic directors, it sunk in because I was like, okay, I'm really tired. These things are really happening. We need to get ready for a busy week, but wouldn't trade it for the world.
And let's talk about that. Athletic director and head coach, just what all goes into getting your team not only ready for state on the court, but also getting your team to Dayton, the hotels, the setup, all that stuff, practice time, all that.
Well, there's definitely no way that I could do it by myself. With all the logistics stuff, our superintendent, Jen Allerding, Shane McCaskey, our transportation director, Chrissy Butts, the high school principal, Jennifer Ports, who works with me in the office, they've all been tremendous help. On the basketball side, Rex Conway and our coaching staff has done a lot. And then at home with my two little ones, my wife has been heaven sent. She's an angel, and my parents and her parents have been a big help too. So no way to do it all by myself. We've just been kind of doing our best and trying to figure it out. I've been lucky enough to have so many mentors over the years who have advanced the state, that have reached out and provided some good advice. And as far as the girls go, they're locked in and ready to go. They're like, okay, when's practice? I
Yeah.
think by the time we were done eating on Saturday night, they're like, all right, what's next? So it's great to have a team like that.
Okay, let's get into the game.
Yeah.
Number 7 versus number 6 in the state. Waterford just upset Berlin Highland, who you talk about girls basketball, small school in Ohio, it's Berlin Highland. They knocked them off. You guys put up one of the best defensive efforts in a regional final that I've ever seen in Ohio. Just what is the matchup going to be like, because you're going to face another big?
Well, Waterford is outstanding. I mean, when we talk about Berlin Highland, the Fort Loremys of the world, Waterford is maybe, if not right on that level, they're right there with those schools. They've won state championships down there. Coach is a legend there. He's such a great coach. He gets them in the mix every year. You know that Waterford's going to be there come March. So we're going to have our hands full. They've got some outstanding guards, including a few that were members of the state championship team for them in 2022. Yeah. And then obviously Wagner in the middle at 6'4", who played on that state championship team as well, is something that you don't see a lot during the year. So we're going to have our hands full, but I know that I've got a group of competitors that are excited for the challenge.
Okay, last question for you. Thursday morning, I don't know if Wednesday or OHSA lets you go to the arena or anything like that, but on Thursday morning, what's the first thing that's going to come to your mind when you walk out and you see that court, you see that arena for the first time as a state Final Four participant?
Well, I'm really personally going to try to just breathe for a second, take as many mental pictures as I can. There's no guarantees in life. I mean, I think our Loudonville community is a good example of that. 80s, 90s, 2000s, Loudonville was going to state quite often.
Yeah.
And it's been 19 years now for any of our teams. So I think it's important to understand as a coach that this isn't guaranteed to you. I probably would have thought that I would have been here by now with some of the teams that I've had.
Yeah,
and,
but it's a tough path.
It's not easy. You're not guaranteed anyone. You have to be good, but you also have to have a lot of luck.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take it for granted, I'll tell you that much. I'm going to try to soak it in, and to do it with this team, who I love so much, is going to be special.
Best of luck.
I appreciate
I'll
it.
see you on Wednesday since I'm going to be stuck
Heck
with you guys for the whole
heck
weekend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Ms. Spangler, you're going to be the point guard for a state Final Four team. Has it finally sunk in? I know you guys went and celebrated at Chili's until 1 a.m. on Saturday, but you've had a couple days to think it over. Has it finally sunk in?
So, like, I mean, obviously, I was very emotional after regional finals.
You should be. You should be. It's a great accomplishment.
Right. But, like, I feel like it didn't really quite set in until, like, you know, we went to school and people started talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, Alicia was just telling me, like, the band's all getting ready to come, and I'm like, oh, man, this is really happening. So it's really, really saddened, especially today. It's like, I really felt it.
You got to take me through that and one again. I know I talked to you right after the game, but I watched it over a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the video that we're going to make after the year for you guys. But, like, just take me through that. Sometimes you got to get angry. Like Michael Jordan, you got to get Kobe up. And you did on that. You got bumped a couple of times. Just take me through that whole play, because that was a crazy play.
Yeah, well, I kind of tripped the girl over my foot, and I, like, almost traveled off of it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I dribbled again, and then I felt like I got bumped again. I was like, whoa, okay. And then I kept going. And then Leash came in, set a screen for me. It was a great screen. And I kind of snaked off of that, and I got my left-hand hook shot. I used to do those a lot when I was younger. I think I've done those a lot recently, but kind of whipped it out that game, and I made it. So here you go.
Well, it was a cool moment alone there in that championship game. But now you move on. You got Waterford, number 6 versus number 7 in the state. What's it going to take for you guys to play for your second ever state championship?
I mean, I think they're kind of similar to the team we played regional finals. We got left on their post. I think it's the biggest thing we got to watch out for. I know we got to watch out for number 10 as well. She's a really good athlete. We got to lock her up. We just got to make sure we play gaps really hard. And like Coach always preaches to us, defense wins games, especially if we're not able to score on offense.
All right. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, Alicia. Saturday night, you win the regional. You guys go to Chili's, you hang out, you celebrate. It's Monday now. Has it sunk in? You're playing for a state championship at Final Four in Dayton.
Yeah, I spent all day Sunday. It was just like crazy. It's still a little insane to think about, you know. I just feel really lucky. I think with everybody like talking to me today and everybody coming up to me and like everybody talking about plans and stuff like that for Thursday, it's definitely started to sink in a whole lot more. And it definitely feels a lot really real right now. So
you were MVP for a reason. You held a score of 16 points, 11 rebounds to 4 points and 5 rebounds. It's going to have to take that effort again because you're going up against another big. But how much confidence did that build for you, shutting down Brungard and, you know, going into this one? Because it's got to be a great feeling knowing that you have the ability to shut one of the best in the region down.
Yeah.
And then moving on, you get another chance to do it again.
I don't want to be too confident because, you know, that could end up I don't want to get cocky. But I definitely feel confident in my abilities to stay in front and definitely rebound on her. So, especially after watching film today and like watching it yesterday, I feel pretty confident about it.
And it seems like it's the same situation you told us after the game that Brungard was never front guarded before.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with
that's
this one
what I've
coming
noticed,
in, that she has never been front guard. So does that pump you up a little bit knowing that you get to do it again?
Yeah, it definitely gets me. It definitely gets me going. It's something I've had preached to me since my freshman year. So.
What's it going to take? You know, you're going to get down there on Wednesday, you're going to get to hang out, but then Thursday morning, it's back to business. Number 6 versus number 7 for a chance to play for a state championship.
Well, I know we're going to have to get up. We're going to have the right mindset. We're definitely going to have to. If we play the defense we played on Saturday, we'll be in a good spot, I believe. So, just gotta be in those gaps on their number 10 and be able to front and be ready for the lob on number 30. So.
Well, best of luck.
Thanks.
You've had all these accolades. The team has done so much over the 4 years, but you have not made it to Dayton yet.
Yeah.
You finally got that regional championship. You celebrated on Saturday. You had Sunday through school today on Monday. But has it finally sunk in that you're one of the final 16 teams in all of Ohio that's going to be playing this week?
Yeah, we've been saying like Final Four, like we're in the Final Four, and then I'm like, well, it's kind of just D4, but like, yeah, like you just said, I mean, it's still only 16 teams out of the whole state. So, yeah, it's super cool, and I mean, I would say it has kind of set in, but also I'm not really satisfied with being the Final Four. Like, I want to win, so
good.
I think like it doesn't really have to set in for me. If we win state, I'll let that set in, but I mean, being the Final Four is still really cool though, and it's still awesome to be here.
I know you don't like talking about your individual stuff, but you're a Miss Ohio finalist. The winner from last year is going to be downstate, but you get to show off your skills. Your team gets to show off their skills on the biggest stage.
Yeah.
Spectrum's going to be there, coaches from around the state, newspapers from around the state, things like that. Just without freaking you out, how cool is it knowing that your team is going to be able to show off in front of everybody in Ohio?
Yeah, it's awesome. So we do get a big fan base with like our community coming and watching us, but obviously this is going to be a whole nother level going to state. And Coach Conway always says, like, the further you go, the more people that come and watch you. And we had a good fan base at Perry for regionals. So thought that was awesome, but hopefully our fans show out for us in Dayton, and then, you know, hopefully we can just go out and play Redbird basketball in front of everyone there and do what we do.
Does that motivate you more knowing that you got all these eyes on you guys that, like, you want to go out and perform well?
I don't know if it's more motivating. I try not to think about who's in the stands, but definitely when the gyms are loud. I know some people have like differing opinions on it, but I love like full gyms, packed gyms, just because, and this sounds kind of stupid, and maybe it's why I make some mistakes on the floor, but I like it so loud where I can't even think. Like,
okay.
I like to just
You let your
play.
abilities just take over.
Yeah, I don't want it to, like, I don't want my head to be spinning. I don't want to be thinking about it too much. I just like to go out and kind of make decisions on the fly and not think about it too much, because if I get in my head, that's kind of when I feel like I start trying to do certain things too much that I shouldn't, or not doing what I should be doing. So I like it to be super loud, and I think it'll help me a lot.
Well, what's it going to take? You're taking on a Waterford squad. 2 years ago when they played Buckeye Central, they had a loud student section. I think you're going to get that noise there, but what's it going to take? Number 6 versus number 7. They got another big, but if Alicia takes care of business, you know, with you on the backside, that'll be good help. But what's it going to take to make it to a state championship game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to keep playing really hard. I think we had a great week at regionals, but regionals is in the past. We're going to have to do it again. So I think we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to listen to our game plan and execute it. I mean, we get our scouting reports. We're going to have to study those, kind of go over what we need to do. Jenna's going to need to hit threes like she just now did. No. But we're just going to need to D up and then play as hard as we can and just do what we've been doing all year. Listen to what our coaches tell us to do and just be there for each other as teammates and see how far we can go with that.
Well, best of luck on Thursday, but most of all, have fun. Not many people get this chance, so enjoy it.
Thank you.
Jenna, I've asked Coach and the other girls the same question. Saturday, you won a regional championship. You had Saturday night, Sunday, and then half the day here today on Monday. Has it sunk in that you're one of the final 16 teams in all of Ohio and in the Final Four?
Oh, geez. I mean, It's been kind of hard to sleep the last couple of nights. Like, just processing it all. It's crazy. I mean, this was our goal since last year, but just to know, like, we're actually here, it's kind of crazy. So.
How has the fan base been throughout this? I know right before you came on here, you told me that everybody was watching the OH report that wasn't there and things like that.
Yeah.
But how has the fan base been to you guys? Because it seems like Loudonville always brings their fans.
It's honestly been amazing. Yeah, so, I mean, the student section, we had 2 of them. We had little girls, and then we had the high school students, and then all of our parents were like sitting right next to the student section, all squished together, and then the whole upper deck was filled at Perry. So it's been pretty packed. And then, what'd you say, like 800 plus viewers on Saturday?
800 plus devices. So it goes by devices are watching. So it could have been over 1,000 people watching.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. Yeah.
But hey, you guys deserve it. This has been a goal for your guys. I mean, to really get down to it, this has been a goal for you guys all year, knowing what you have. But the job's not done. You get the number 6 team in the state, you're number 7 in this semifinal, another big that you're playing that Alicia's going to guard.
Yeah.
But what's it going to take on Thursday morning to knock them off and to get to that state championship game?
We just have to keep doing the little things that we've been doing all season, talking on defense, moving the ball on offense. I don't know, like being in the right spots on defense too. Bates was kind of talking about that today at practice. We have to make sure that we're talking and in gap and in help. And yeah, just doing what our scatter report tells us to do.
So you guys are leaving Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Game's not till Thursday morning, but you're leaving Wednesday morning. You have all day on Wednesday down in Dayton. Do you guys have any plan? What are you guys going to do to spend the day before you guys go out to dinner and everything on Wednesday night? But what are you going to do down there?
Bates hasn't told us, so I don't really know. I'm assuming we're practicing here and then they're having a clap out. We're going down there. He said we're going to eat at Red Robin, so that's cool, I guess. But probably just check into the hotel and just get used to the vibes down there.
Bus ride. Who's controlling the playlist?
Well, did you ask Corey this question?
No, I did not. You're the first person I'm asking.
So typically Corey does. Sophia's done it. I love Sophia to death, but I don't like her music.
Corey's a better DJ than Sophia. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, she is. Corey has some pretty good music. She has a good mixture of everything. Bo likes the older music, and I'm not into that. But Corey has a good mixture. So.
Well, I grew up in the 90s, so you probably wouldn't like my music either. No.
No.
What's your favorite song?
Favorite song? Trying to think. I like All of the Lights. That one's cool. You know that song?
That's a good song.
Yeah.
Great. I actually have that on my workout playlist. Yes, I do work out, Brian, and we'll get into that later. Lastly, enjoy the moment, have fun, and I'll see you Thursday morning.
Thank you.
Handing his $10 bill to the McDonald's lady at the drive-thru and then getting the change back.
Taco Bell.
I didn't mean to disrespect you.
Taco Bell. Okay.
TB's got it going on. Oh, you're a fellow TB, so it makes sense. You guys are 2 of the same.
Baja Blast, man, that stuff's like crack. Probably is.
Yeah. That's why I stay away from pop because it's too good.
Yeah.
Too tasty.
I mean, Adam's drinking one right now, so it's good stuff.
They put that in a can now?
Yeah. Limited time. So
Hey,
come to the dark side, Brian.
Well, the iron's
come to
hot.
the dark side. But Loudonville, you and I have talked. They had expectations all year to get to Dayton. Corey said in the interview, she said, I'm not content. Okay, we made it to the Final Four. I want that state championship. They know, it's kind of like Shelby. They know what they need to do. They're not just content winning a district championship or winning a regional championship. They want more. They want to go all the way. And they, like Shelby, a balanced squad. They had 5 players with over 7 points in this 40-14. 14 points to the defending regional champs. 7-0 in the fourth quarter. Thank you, Adam, for that. It was one of the best defensive efforts I've seen in tournament play that deep into a tournament. It was just lights out. Alicia Felix shut down a 15-11 player, 15 points, 11 rebounds to 4 and 5. Completely frustrated her, got her out of the game, and she was the first player to front guard that player all season because they had help on the backside, and they're going to do the same thing against Waterford. Waterford has a player that hasn't been front guarded before, but they trust Corey. They trust a couple other players to help out if they do get a lob in there. This team is playing motivated basketball right now, and they're not just content. They're not just happy making it to Dayton. They want to be cutting down the nets on Saturday afternoon.
What I think is so special about this team is it's one thing to have expectations and great players coming back, but Tyler Bates told us, and this was before the season started, that during the summer workouts and the routine that he saw from this team, led by Corey, even though she's going to deflect a lot of the attention,
Which
she's
is awesome
been the
too.
ringleader the entire time with the senior class. So obviously you got to give, Sophia and then the rest of the gang their flowers, but they were working in the gym and in the weight room at a level that Tyler said he had not had yet for a group at Loudonville. And so he was like, OH.Report, this is going to be a season you're going to want to see. You might want to sign up for about a 10, 12 pack of our games. And we were like, I believe you, man. Like, if TB says it's another TB,
us.
man, a lot of y'all out there.
Yeah.
If he says it's going to be true, we thought it might be. And they may have the best player in the state of Ohio.
They do. We've seen the list of the finalists for Miss Basketball. I don't care. It's North Central Ohio. We deserve some respect. The numbers that Corey Vermillion put up, we were talking about this during the interviews.
Unprecedented.
Compared to everybody else. And it's not like it's just Corey taking care of business. You look at the balance in that Springfield game. They have shooters. They have players all around. And she leads a team that averages 70 points per game with 27. But then the assists. She had a quadruple double for Pete's sake this year. It's not just her scoring all the points. It's her dishing it out. It's her teammates that have gotten her there. And this is why I believe she should be Miss Basketball in Ohio. She's going to be the D4 Player of the Year. She's already picked up other accolades for district and stuff. She is the D4 Player of the Year. But she should be Miss Basketball. And if not second place, the runner-up at least, she should be better than her third place finish last year. But if she's dropped lower than that, we need to take some voting credentials out from some guys. I know Jake, you're the head of the AP, whatever.
For around this area.
Yeah. We got to have a conversation if that happens. But I think Corey Vermillion is the best player in Ohio.
She's the best girl that I've seen this year. And what's awesome about watching her is that she, as gifted as she is as an offensive player, she's the ultimate weapon, finishes with both hands, smacks threes from deep. She's the best defensive player. I don't know that I've seen another girl that's as good as she is, that strikes fear in the opponent quite like she does, because she's a step and a half ahead of you already. She clearly must study film and have a great comprehension of what sets are coming, what half-court type of plays are going to go, tendencies. So she's a step ahead of the rest. And with that complement of players, with her baby sister that you didn't mention.
6.5 steals per game.
That's stupid. 6.5 steals a game? A lot of teams don't even average that. She's
More
doing it as a one-lady wrecking crew, and she does. She can just... How many times have we seen her get a steal off of the inbound and then score right away this year? How many of those highlights we got?
And then on the other side, how many highlights we see somebody miss a layup or her miss a layup and immediately go back up, take it down, power herself back up. She does it on both. She plays both ends of the floor as well. It's not, we see these big offensive numbers. It's not like she's just taking time off on one end to be ready for the other. She's 95 feet, 110%. The whole time.
And I guarantee she's 110% embarrassed that we're sitting here talking about how great she is. She
deserves it. You know what? Yeah,
player this year.
Great, humble player, loves her teammates, loves the spotlight not being on her, but she deserves the spotlight.
But does not like ice cream. Have you heard that rumor?
Well, it's like Madeline on vacation right now watching in D.C. doesn't like peanut butter. I mean, what's wrong with some of these kids these days, man?
I can't even go down that trail. But I will take you back, think about your last few weeks, and let's go on T's Tourney Tour, I believe you call it. Is that right?
I've been slacking on the Twitter about that because I've been so busy. But the Tourney Tour, I'm still on the Tourney.
Tourney Tour.
It's an average of like 30, 35 games, tournament games a year. But this is a lot. I love doing it. I know you and I love this time of year because we get to see, we'll see some sectionals that are blowouts. But then once you get to the district level, I mean, you were in Ontario. That atmosphere.
7 games last week.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
All great games.
And I saw, the Central District, River Valley, Northmore. We'll get to that in a bit. But Loudonville's games, things like that. We've seen, Corey Vermillion became the all-time leading scorer in the area. We saw River Valley get back to a district championship game and nearly knock off Hartley. A lot of great competition over the last couple of weeks. But I'm going to start with you. What are some of your best moments so far?
Oh, I wrote these down because I've been at so many games that
Right?
I
know.
It's hard to keep up with. So I'm going to go back to where it all started. Our very first tournament game of the year, I was at Clear Fork for the girls' sectional.
Oh, the Western Reserve game?
Against Western Reserve. And watching Annika Labaki, the last time that I was there in the gym, she
Great
stroked
player.
6 threes,
Yeah.
which was one behind her school record. You know what she followed it up with?
8.
6 more threes.
Oh, 6
Not
more.
quite 8. She didn't break her own record, but she had 6 more, and then I don't think she played in the fourth quarter.
One of the best all-around Clear Fork athletes in the history of women's sports at Clear Fork.
Career assist leader for the soccer
Yep.
program, the best three-point shooter in the history of the school. She's got another soccer record. I think most assists in a game.
Yeah.
She passed Brittany Becknell, her own coach, for that. So I'm going to start there with Annika Labaki and just how good of a shooting performance I saw. Let's move on to the Margaretta girls. They returned just one starter, okay? They lose 2 All-Ohioans from last year. They got a bunch of young girls running around out on the floor, nobody averaging more than 10 points per game, and all they do is dominate the district. It wasn't close.
Yeah.
They smacked Upper Sandusky. They held the N10 Girls Player of the Year to 1 shot for the game. 1.
I didn't know they held Walton to 1 shot.
A shot, not a make, a shot attempt in the game.
Wow.
Then they move on against Colonel Crawford, who was the number 2 seed, and it just wasn't much of a competition.
I wanted to see that Clear Fork Margaretta matchup at Crawford. How about that game, the overtime game? I mean,
that was phenomenal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the best game. It was the most competitive game at that district, so that was fun to watch. But moving on now to the boys, Mansfield Christian sectional championship. They haven't done that in forever.
good for them. They had a great team this year. They gave Crawford all they could handle in that district semifinal.
Should have beat Colonel Crawford. But back to that sectional real fast. They got to go on the road at the hangar at St. Paul. Amar Davis becomes a career scoring leader for the history of the school. I think he had 24 points in that game, cementing himself, his legacy as the greatest to ever put on a Flames uniform. But then they move on to that Colonel Crawford game. I think they had a double-digit lead in the second half. And then some of the shot selection made you kind of go like this. And it wasn't just that. The showcase of David Sheldon and the greatness that is a guy that's been to 13 straight districts, that's cut down the net at districts. He was looking for his 3rd straight trip to regionals, and just the Eagles as a program. It just kind of showed that there's levels to everything. And even though Mansfield Christian, I don't think it was close, they by far had a better roster than the Eagles, Colonel Crawford still gets it done. Margaretta versus Crestview, the top 2 teams in the district, meeting in a semifinal, because talking to an assistant coach for Margaretta, they said that they went and they saw a couple other teams on the other side of the bracket, thought that they might be tougher matchups for them, so they went after the Cougars. Be careful what you wish for, because they're down double figures in the fourth quarter. Their season's about to be over.
What's up with Norwalk in these district games?
They get some good ones, man. They know how to schedule them.
Continue.
End of the third quarter, there's 3 seconds left. Sophomore point guard runs into Crestview, leading scorer Justice Thompson, and then all of a sudden, there's blood all over the floor. It's pandemonium. Margaretta fans are coming out of the bleachers. There's fathers down on the floor, because he's the head coach for Judah, but he's screaming at the referees, and it was just absolute chaos for 10 minutes. We didn't get any basketball. Meanwhile, Crestview, they're cruising then at the start of the fourth quarter. There's no Judah. But then he comes back into the game, ginormous gash under his eye. Looks like he's in a Rambo movie or Rocky or something. Like he's coming back against the Russian at the end of a round. And then this took place. Mr. Washington, another sophomore, he went nuts in the fourth quarter. Everybody for the Polar Bears. And Crestview, with veteran head coach Sean Kurtz, I think there's only one way to say it. I'm not going to use the word choke, because Margaretta played really, really well, but they kind of came undone.
Let it slip away.
They kind of let that one get away from them, and Margaretta moves on. So that game to me.
And they won the district championship too.
They're still playing. They're at regionals now.
They're in BG.
That's one of those that can be a stepping stone for a team like Margaretta, as young as they are. That could have been a big negative for them. Their point guard goes down. Julian Washington was kind of quiet there in the second half. Big first half. Didn't do much until Judah got back on the floor with the final 4 minutes to go, and then they came alive. So endless potential, I think, for that team. And now let's get to the districts in last week. And as exciting as Shelby versus Lexington round 2 was at Ontario
That
in front of a
fourth quarter.
jam-packed house, I got to go back to the game before that on Thursday night. Lexington versus Willard, bar none, was the most favorite game that I saw all year, regular season or tournament.
Yeah.
Fogel with the onions to take a corner 3 with the game on the line. You know how many threes he's made all year?
8.
Oh, I heard
no,
just
he
one.
took 8. He took 8. He only made
I heard
one. That's
one.
right.
Joe Baylog said that's the second 3 he's made all year.
Yeah.
It was the first he attempted, I think, in the game.
Yeah.
Knocks it down, forces overtime. Then he hits the shot with under 2 seconds left, off balance, mid-range, hand in his face to put them up, and then Max Dawson gets run over. And that zebra, how he saw that right next to it, 2 inches away, and said that he slowed down his momentum. I'm not sure exactly.
I saw his arm was out. He extended the
vantage
arm
point he was looking
and,
at. Wow. What a way for that to finish. And they still, Joe Bedingfield,
got the shot.
Still draws up a play to get Cam Robinson. No defense for 5 feet.
If he's not fading off to the side and goes straight up, that's in. I have it on my phone. I slowed down and hit the corner. But what about Max Dawson's 3-and-1 to give them the lead back late in the fourth quarter?
And no expression. He just
I'm
makes
standing up there with Eric Will and the radio guys getting a good view because I couldn't see anything else down on the sidelines because it was so packed. So I'm up there with Eric Will, who's calling the game. He hits that shot and 1. Me and Eric Will jump back and are like kids at Christmas. Like, oh, what just happened? Phenomenal. And I'm glad I made it back for that fourth quarter and overtime because that was the best 10 minutes of basketball I've seen. It was like a Martin Scorsese movie. It was just cinema. It was perfect.
It was beautiful in every way. Unless you're a Flashes fan,
I
then
know.
maybe not perfect.
I was rooting for Max.
26 points in his final game of his career, finishing as the 3rd all-time scorer in the history of the school.
And Fogel beat Willard twice in the last second. He struck lightning. Oh, I get it, Adam. Okay. He struck lightning twice.
Yes. And then, for what happened Shelby Lexington last year in the tournament.
That buzzer beater.
Depper Schmidt going
the one
length of
shining
the court
moment of the one shining moment,
at the horn. So bravo to Shelby, who we heard from tonight, for getting some redemption from had lost to Lexington 3 times in a row. So they get over the hump, and now they're moving on to regionals. Those are my top moments, Travis.
Should we just start and get it out of the way for me? First, before that, the Golden Knights, Patriot Prep. That game, you talk about the call not called against Max Dawson. I don't even want to get into what was not called or what was changed and stuff like that during the game, but the Golden Knights, Grant Bentley, District Player of the Year, KMAC Player of the Year, held to 2 points in the first half of that game, 4 points through 3.
Yep.
But do you know what shooters do? Shooters shoot. And when they see
baby.
the ball go through the hoop once, they catch fire. Grant Bentley, 17 fourth quarter points. The Golden Knights fight back, knock off Patriot Prep, a team that broke their hearts in overtime the year before, get that big win. Great moment for them. But that wasn't the whole story for Grant Bentley, because in the sectional championship game in the third quarter, he finished with 31 points. He scored 23 points in the third quarter. So 2 quarters alone, he scored 40 points. That's going to be up for Baylog's, Joe's Ballers when we do our final episode, those 2 quarters. But a phenomenal game. Then we get the ODU. And nobody could score. It was just one of those nights where you had looks. You had looks inside. You had looks outside. And you couldn't, just nothing would go in. And then a role player for Northside Christian just hits everything he puts up. 5 threes, 19 points. Too little, too late. It was just, it was just a tough game. It still stings a little bit for my Golden Knights. But what a 4 years Blade Tackett's had. Started off, and that was the MVP interview. Was just give it to the Northmore Golden Knights because just what they did. Those kids' freshman years: Grant Bentley, Hunter Falk, Drew Hammond, Bryson Kearns, Isaac Black. 4 wins first year, and this was the first year we had OH.Reports. This was kind of our team too. Second year 12, last year 15 in a district runner-up. This year 18 wins, a KMAC championship, and another district runner-up. Just the way that this team changed the complexion of Northmore basketball And now with going into maybe seven divisions next year, with Jack Swenger coming back, who's already a Player of the Year candidate next year, and some of the pieces that they have, Cole Cuffman, who can take a charge, Trevor Brubaker, who helped out earlier on in the year. This team, I don't think they're going to drop off much, but it stunk so much to see those seniors not be able to cut those nets down at ODU. It stunk. But what a season for them. Now, another Central District team, one of the funnest games I got to call of the district tournament, myself, Mark Bollinger, down at Big Walnut, River Valley, Lyndon McKinley. Carson Smith starts off on fire. I think he scores 11 of the first 13 points. They go off to a big lead. Third quarter comes to the end. Lyndon McKinley's on a run, cuts it down to a 6. It was 8. They cut it down to 6 right at the buzzer. And then Fluid, we'll just say Fluid on the floor, and we had the same thing like the Crestview game. We had a 5-minute delay to clean up the
air quote fluid?
The vomit. Somebody yacked at the end of the quarter, so they had to clean it up. Took 5 minutes. It took the sails out of Lyndon McKinley. Smith and company come back out. A freshman, Carter Myers, comes in as a freshman in the fourth quarter. His first minutes, he comes down, pulls 5 rebounds in the final 4 minutes, has 4 points, a couple big assists, a block or 2, and just changes the complexion of the game. So not only was it Smith in the starting 5, but a couple big bench players come in and clinch it for the Vikings. What a win for them. And then, they make it to the district championship game, and they had a chance to tie it late, just couldn't win it. I mean,
there.
But River Valley, what a team they have. I mean, you had Bruscotter, and then you had Smith. In the MOAC,
Smith was the MOAC Player of the Year as a sophomore.
Yeah, as a sophomore.
And then Bruscotter as a junior. And then I think Alex was the clear choice this year. But if you look at Smith's numbers, like to not win Player of the Year in your league, putting up 24 a game and however many rebounds and assists, but those were two big-time athletes this year.
Yeah. Those are mostly the boys' districts that I did because I've been doing mostly girls' tournament action. I got to think back for a second. I did the Willard district, Danbury. I got my first looks at Danbury before they played Loudonville. Without Buckeye Central and what they had, Danbury just ran through the competition. Maria Maringer had a phenomenal district play at Willard, but then the Lady Redbirds, they just, different level. It was close early on. They got it up to about double digits a few times and then won by 6 points. They called off the dogs, a couple of scores from Danbury. And then that regional championship. They scored, it was 8-2 at the end of the first quarter. You're thinking, oh no, it's a replay where last year, 2 years ago, last year Abram Capel's squad scores 10 points in the first half.
Yep.
But then they score 11. I apologize. I apologize to Abe, but when they hit the 3 to start the second quarter, I said, well, Springfield's given up more points now than they did in the whole first half last time, and he gave me a kind of a side-eye look there. But after that, Loudonville just turned it on. I think it was just jitters a little bit. This is their first ever regional final appearance. Then after that, everybody was hitting. There's Jenna Williams hitting a couple shots. Corey Vermillion was hitting from Canton pretty much. Maya Vermillion wasn't hitting early, but then she came on. Spangler had one of the most acrobatic buckets I showed you when I got back to see it later that night. It's been fun covering this team, and it's just going to continue into this week. Baby. It ain't over yet, baby. Hillsdale. The Hillsdale boys.
Shout out.
First time winning a sectional championship since 2016. They went up then, took the 2-hour drive up to Orwell with no internet and nothing, so we had to do a delayed broadcast there. But they ran into a really good team in JFK that I'm excited to call their regional semi against Dalton tomorrow night because they got a squad. And honestly, if they can get past Dalton, I think I'm not going to say it because hey, I believe in Seneca East. But if Richmond Heights were to advance, I think JFK would give them a battle. But first, I think Seneca East. I'm calling an upset. I love our area teams. Why not? You have nothing to lose. Honestly,
Tigers.
You're going up against a team that should be playing Division II at least basketball. Why not just throw it all out there? Mason may have the game of his life. What Coach said as I was editing that Loudonville piece, we have shooters. If we can get off to a hot start, it may go back and forth. So I'm not counting Seneca East out yet. But back to Warren JFK, knocked off Hillsdale, but Hillsdale, a bunch of great seniors. Braylon Jarvis, Jack Fickus as well, Critchbaum coming back. You know, Jarvis broke the single-season scoring record in the sectional semi. Critchbaum broke the rebounding single-season record in the sectional championship, and I think Fickus came up like 1 or 2 assists short from breaking. So you have 3 players that are doing this in a season. It's really turned around. I think they've really turned around basketball at Hillsdale, because, you know, it's football's now one of the sports, but it's usually baseball and softball. But don't count out the boys basketball team now. I think they've really turned a corner, and they've really started something there. So shout out also to Hillsdale, because that was fun. That was fun covering a couple games they had this year, and then to see them kind of make history and bring that back. The crowds were awesome at Hillsdale, as always. Great crowds there, but the gyms were packed. It was a great game against Grand Valley. They were hitting everything. So good for them as well. But it was mostly girls basketball in Loudonville. Loudonville, Northmore, Hillsdale. That was pretty much the 3 I saw in the Willard district.
So there's T's
Tourney Tour.
Hard to say.
Alliteration, my man.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. And it's not done yet. We could have
here's what we got
2
coming up
weeks
this
left.
week.
Yeah.
All right, so tomorrow night, like Travis said, we're going to have a doubleheader for you guys. We're both calling both games.
Yeah.
So you get 2 different vantage points and perspectives on the game. Seneca East versus Richmond Heights from
I'm going to
Canton
need like
Fieldhouse.
7 lozenges for that. Audio only, you got to describe everything.
So that's going to be at 6 p.m. Travis will be on that one live with the audio cast, and we got the scoreboard, and then if big plays happen, we can show you a video instant replay.
Like Luke Mason hitting like his 7-3 of the first half.
So.
Like,
we hope something like that happens. And then right after that, the second half of the doubleheader, Downton versus JFK, as you were just outlining. So right about the time that one is starting, you can watch the full video broadcast of the previous game. And you can also do at the same time, and then you can have Travis
just
on
like
the
Adam in
audio
the
cast.
first game, you'll have me in one ear and you guys in the other ear.
And then the video cast will come out after that game at about 10 p.m. Wednesday night, we're going to have a special state championship edition of the Takedown. As I mentioned, 21 different area wrestlers made at least, I think, the top 7 in the state. We got video for all of them.
Ontario finished 6th as a team in Division II. Galleon was 7th.
Yeah.
I was keeping up with the brackets on Baum's page. Northmore had 2 third-place finishers, another guy on the podium. Centerburg had a state runner-up. A lot of great wrestlers. Luke Schlosser, how'd he finish? He finished 3rd or 4th?
Yeah, he definitely made the podium. I think he did make it to the top 4.
So yeah, wrestling. I mean, we talk about basketball and stuff, but wrestling's really hot in this area this year too.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
Got the chip, baby.
Yeah.
Got one for the big boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Thursday. We'll start you off early in the day. We'll have that Waterford versus Loudonville game. Since that's a state Final Four game, we can't have it for you a live video feed, but we'll have the live audio cast and just
then
like
the synced highlight.
We'll have the highlight coming out later. He'll show you the replays live during the game. So if something big time happens, you'll get to see it. And then we'll have video for pregame, halftime, postgame. So
MVP interview will come out later.
Yeah.
Because the way they have everything set up, but there will be an MVP interview later out there. Also, Eric Will said hello. He's watching right now.
What's up, E-Will?
Great job. Always enjoyed the content. Anyway, can't wait. UD Arena. I mean, you get down there, you just
love it.
The atmosphere.
It's good. So we'll have that.
So is Bowling Green now.
And then you guys will be down there. We'll also have highlights for Fort Loramie, Convoy Crestview, Afrocentric versus Keystone, and then later in the evening, Ottawa Glandorf versus Portsmouth. So we're going to have some semifinal coverage for you on Thursday night. And then Shelby versus Lima Shawnee. Joe Balick and myself will be on the call for an audio cast that we will also have the full video broadcast that'll come out as soon as the game is over, probably around 10 p.m. And then if we get one of our teams to advance to the Canton Regional Championship game, we'll be back there on Friday night. And then on Saturday, if we get Shelby to that Bowling Green Championship, you better believe we're going to be there. And then we'll have the exact same setup. We'll have the audio cast going live during the game so that you can follow along, see what's up with the Whippets, watch all the big plays. And then we'll have the full video broadcast coming out right as soon as that baby's over. So we've got some big-time games coming up this week.
Don't forget one other game on Saturday. If
we get the Birds to the championship game, of course, we're going to have the audio cast for you. And then we'll have highlights of all 4 state championship games. Madeline's going to be back from her little vacay over in Washington, D.C. And I think she's going to be hungry to attack some highlights. She'll have some special ones for you.
Absolutely. We got Brandon Powell. going to be helping provide the highlights on
BP will be down
Thursday.
there on Thursday.
Yes, and I'll be helping out as well. Can't wait. I love state tournament time.
There's a lot to love.
There's a lot to love.
And then next week on Wednesday, we'll have the final edition of the Joe Show on Wednesday. We'll have your tournament edition of the Coach B's Ballers and then my top cuts. So it's 4 weeks worth of accumulated performances
So some good
and plays.
stuff.
It should be awesome.
Yeah.
But for now, for tonight, for this podcast, that's all I really have to say, Travis.
Yeah, we got to get ready for 2 games tomorrow. So.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Glad that the hiatus is over. Back with episode number 17 here in season 3. And hey, looks like Coach Galloway still hanging out with us. Appreciate him.
Unintended.
Along
Still
with
hanging out with us.
Coach Langhurst and the guys from Seneca East. We will see you tomorrow at Canton Fieldhouse. Close it out, Trev.
See you on the live stream tomorrow. Peace. I'm getting some Taco Bell. TB.